There are two things in Modern Warfare that have me very irritated. The fact that when I go into free-for-all, I don't meet any fun-natured gamer girls that want to join my group for when I stream, and the Bruen got nerfed for no discernible reason. Alright, I know in Warzone it was becoming a bit of a monster, and it really was overly easy to use. I can understand it getting a nerf to something like its accuracy or its damage range, but Infinity Ward chopped the dick off the Bruen. They lopped it off with a pair of rusty scissors because they decided the Bruen didn't need a 3-shot kill anymore. Now, the reason I always thought the Bruen, since it was added to the game, I thought it was the better Holger, was because it was basically the Holger, but with the ability to 3-shot kill. It was a little bit clunky, a little bit slower, because the Holger got buffs later on that sped it up, and that was, important for the Holger. But the Bruen was a better Holger, so I wanted a Holger buff that was considerable. Give the Holger a really close range 3-shot, or the ability to 2-shot headshot, something. But instead, they just nerfed the hell out of the Bruen. Now, if you're a Warzone player, I'm sorry, I'm not talking about Warzone. I play 6v6 or 10v10, occasionally ground war. I'm not a Warzone player. I know that in Warzone, solid rates of fire coupled with low recoil and high ammo capacity is a scary combination. It's a terrifying combination. I'm talking about the weapon balance when comparing it to other weapons, because the Holger, PKM, and Bruen all fire at the same rate of fire. But now the PKM is the only one that can 3-shot to the body. Now, the Bruen is a bit snappier, lighter, a little bit easier to handle. It's easier to control the Bruen compared to the PKM. And also, a 4-shot kill at 759 RPM isn't terrible. Although, when you give me a 4-shot kill LMG that has all of the handling traits of an LMG, I just kind of feel like I could use a long-range built 60-round mag Kilo and still get a nice 4-shot kill up to a decent range, and it's more customizable and more lightweight in general. Because with an LMG, the trade-off for the slower movement speed is you get big ammo capacity and big damage. So while I understand reducing the 3-shot range of the Bruen, I understand maybe increasing recoil or decreasing bullet velocity, I understand those things. I don't understand what they did to the gun. The Bruen can no longer 3-shot without a headshot, and for some reason, they also increased the recoil of the 60-round mag attachment. So when you run the 60-round mag, the gun kicks up more. Makes a little bit of sense, I guess. You're reducing weight so the gun would climb, but it makes me wonder, what's to stop people from just building no-stock, heavy barrel snatch grip PKMs to just fill the void that the Bruen just left? This doesn't really fix the problem. I think it's just going to relocate it. Now it feels like the Bruen is a more consistent Holger. The Holger is a more fast Bruen. The PKM is a higher damage Holger and Bruen, but it's slower. I don't know. It feels odd. And then just compare to my last video, which I found this information out after I recorded that. Whoops. My last video talked about how the M91 doesn't fit in anywhere. The Bruen, Holger, and PKM were too similar, but now the Holger's faster. I guess the Bruen's the middle ground between the Holger and the PKM. The PKM does more damage, and then of course the MG34 is super fast firing, and the S87 is super hard hitting, and the M91 just sits there. It's such a weird way to balance a weapon class, but it's crazy because they don't really care about the entirety of the weapon class. They're getting complaints about the Bruen, so they kill it. Which is strange, because the MP5 has been running rampant for 10 months. That's right, I'm talking about this without any ounce of irony. I don't care that I've mentioned it before. At this point, this needs to be brought up again. I don't care if the MP5 would be a worse ISO or worse P90 if it got nerfed. I don't care if a championship is coming up and the pro players don't want it nerfed. I don't care. It's been 10 months and no considerable change has been done to the MP5. And you might say, well, statistically, they've changed these things. I don't care. It's running rampant in every lobby you play in core mode. That's bad. You have a weapon ruling a class, the SMG class, and that's terrible. Now, I'm not saying if it got nerfed, the MP7 wouldn't just take over, because it probably would. And yeah, if the MP5 couldn't get a 3-shot kill with its 9mm rounds, then people would probably rather use an ISO or a P90. The problem is an ISO is a worse P90, a P90 is a worse NP7. The NP7, despite being able to have 60 rounds and firing faster, can't kill as fast as the MP5. If you look at all of the non-niche automatic weapons in Modern Warfare, excluding things like the Odin or the FAL or the FAMAS, looking at fully automatic weapons, versatile weapons, the MP5 has the best TTK potential, coupled with low recoil, awesome iron sights, great mobility, and customizability. That integral monolithic is great for range and bullet velocity. Couple that with a Merc foregrip and a 45 round mag, you have one of the best weapons in COD history.
It's finished. We have done it.
We've seen this before, okay? In any FPS game, I expect a weapon to be above other weapons. I expect there to be some imbalances. 10 months down the line, I don't want to hear that a championship's coming up. There wasn't a championship coming up 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 months ago. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The time for the meta to change in the SMG category was a long time ago, because the SMG category is so out of balance that it starts affecting AR users. It starts affecting the new weapons that are added. The Striker, the Fennec, the ISO get outgunned by the MP5. But now the Bruen is a problem in Warzone, so they cut its feet off. I liked where the Bruen was, but of course the Bruen was kind of a better PKM and a better Holger. With the Holger, for some reason, they're not increasing its fire rate, they're not giving it bigger magazines, or I guess more magazine options, something between 30 and 100. They're not giving it better range, they're not giving it a barrel that makes it lighter, but then doesn't hurt bullet velocity. They're not doing anything considerable to the Holger to make it good. Making a weapon that doesn't kill very fast really snappy to aim down sight with is like pairing an RTX 2080 with an Intel i3. You can aim down sight quickly, but then you're immediately bottlenecked by the drawbacks of using the Holger in the first place. This weapon balance is embarrassing. I hate seeing it. They can't balance these weapons for Warzone and 6v6, and they don't know how to fix the weapon classes. I will say, the ARs in Modern Warfare, in my opinion, are very well balanced, at least when compared to the rest of the weapons in Modern Warfare. And that's because when they tweaked the Grau, they tweaked it delicately. The Grau was sort of ruling Warzone, so they tweaked it delicately. They didn't just kill the Grau right out because Warzone players were complaining. With the Bruen, they straight up killed it. It works, it's fine, it's a competitive weapon, it's better than an M91, but it's nowhere near where it used to be. I've been using it today, and it is still competitive, but it does feel like a different gun. It doesn't have that same sweet spot that it used to. I honestly think all LMGs, because of the inherent downsides of running an LMG, I think all LMGs except for the MG34 should be able to 3-shot at 10 meters, within 10 meters at least. And then the lower the fire rate, I think that 3-shot kill range should go up because that balances it out. You get a good 3-shot kill range, but you don't get to spray that 3-shot kill range at 900 RPM, you get what I mean? But to be clear, I'm not saying the Bruen is now unusable garbage, and I'm not saying that it didn't need a tweak. It clearly needed some work, but instead of delicately tweaking it like they did the Grau, where they change a couple of attachments and how they perform, no, they just destroyed the Bruen's main selling point, and now it's just sort of a run-of-the-mill gun. It's still one of my favorites because of its aesthetic. I like the variant I have of it. I enjoy the gun, but I don't know why they took the legs out from under it so harshly. I want that kind of swift justice. I mean, with the FAL, they overbuffed it recently, and then they brought it to make it more consistent. Now the FAL can't 2-shot you in the pinky finger. That's great, I like that. Good job, Infinity Ward. Now the FAL requires a bit more accuracy, timing, and precision. Sweet, now it's not ruling every lobby. But with the MP5, they're so scared of letting the SMG meta actually change. Something that pro players have always been able to adapt to in the past. The MSMC in PDW in Black Ops 2, the MTAR, and the Bison, the Vector, and Call of Duty Ghosts. But this is becoming more like an ASM-1 situation, where even though it gets some nerfs, it's still considerably better than most of the SMGs on offer, and also some of the ARs and LMGs on offer. That's dramatic. I am of course referring to when you are using the weapon at its optimal range. Obviously a Bruen is going to wreck an MP5 at long range, but it's still a problem that the MP5 in close range is better than the ISO, it's better than the Fennec, it's better than the Striker, it's better than the MP7. Because they gave it less than 900 RPM, they're scared of what will happen if it can't 4-shot. It'll be a worse P90, a worse ISO, But at this point, just do it and then tweak it. Give it a different benefit. It's already incredibly easy to use, has a very solid controllable fire rate. There's nothing about it that would be ruined by it not having a 3-shot range anymore. I am not done beating this dead horse, because now we have a new perplexing decision on top of it to kneecap the Bruen for no reason. No delicate tweaking, no change to the longest barrel or how the stocks affect it, no change to its weight or bullet velocity, just fucking tank its damage. But they're scared to do that with the 9mm rounds on the MP5. The weapon balance in Modern Warfare is a joke. The SKS killed the EBR, the MP7 can kill in 4 shots with a faster fire rate than the M13, a weapon that can kill in 5 shots without a headshot. Which on some maps the M13's better because it has longer range, but overall, raw killing potential, the MP7 for some reason outguns it. It's perplexing, it's frustrating, it's irritating. We're 10 months in and the blackout rounds for the M13 don't give it a 4-shot kill. They don't actually increase any considerable amount of damage or damage range. Let's hope that Treyarch and Raven can balance Cold War better than Infinity Ward is balancing Modern Warfare. The weapons sandbox is all over the place. Gunsmith doesn't help because of how they're balancing certain attachments and how different attachments have hidden downsides, pros and cons. It's so messy. And I had to get it off my chest because the Bruen's one of my favorite guns, and now it's just sort of a schmuck gun, and I might just go back to using the Kilo. See you when I see you. Goodbye.